It is Storm Beat the Champ presented by BowlersMart, and it's our Week 2 stop here at Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York. Coming off a Week 1 sweep, our returning champion Bill Swiat will face this group of challengers for this week's show. Jerry Casero, Rob Piccoli, and Mike Zarcone will try to take that crown away from Bill Swiat. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Amherst, New York. I'm Paul Peck with Buffalo Bowling Hall of Famer Sue Nawojski. A 747 series for Bill Swiat was very impressive, but most impressive was the adjustments that he made to have his game suit the wood lanes here.
Sure, it's always a little different bowling on wood as it is synthetics, but he did prove that scores can be just as high. You just have to learn how to play them and pick the right ball.
Yeah, so he'll have to continue to do that. Our challengers will have to figure that out and figure it out quickly, but we've got some veteran bowlers coming your way today. I don't have any doubt that they will get it figured out right away. We shall see. Should be another fun week here at Cherry Laurel Lanes, Amherst, New York. Let's get rolling. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Latina Boulevard Foods, your favorite family in food distribution. And by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowlingNewYork.com to find a center near you. It is Rob Piccoli and Jerry Casero Jr. to get us started here, and we'll get our first look at the 43-year-old from Niagara Falls, New York, Jerry Casero, making his Beat the Champ debut.
Jerry bowls at Island Lanes in his league, so he's bowling on new synthetics. So this is a different lane condition for him. And, you know, we talked about equipment, and we talked about having stuff in your bag prepared to come bowl on wood. And obviously, he came here and bowled well in the qualifier, so good for him.
Sure did. A little light on that first shot, so a little work to do. But again, we've seen, including Bill Swiat, our returning champion, struggle in the first couple of frames until the smart guys figure it out, and I know Jerry will. 43 years old, 212 is the average in that league that he bowls in. And he'll take all three of those out and get a first pin spare. And now up, Rocket Rob Piccoli, 40 years old from Kenmore, New York, and a regular here on our show. This is his 7th appearance on the show. That is tied for the second most appearances by anyone here on Beat the Champ. The challenge for Rob is winning. He has only won once in those previous 6 shows, and that begs the question of he's a good bowler. We know it, and he qualifies well. What does he have to take the next step to be able to win? I'll let you answer that in a moment. Before I tell you that scoring and stats today are powered by Pita Gourmet, Mediterranean American food prepared the way you like it.
All right, well, to go back and answer that, it's, it's nice to be even keel. It's nice to not let your emotions take control, but it almost seems like Rob is almost too even keel and needs to get a little bit more pumped up for these matches, because the fact that he's made these shows that much on all these different surfaces and places that we've gone is quite an accomplishment.
That's 2 strikes and 2 frames for Rob. And yeah, and this is the 7th show, and it might very well be in the 5th or 6th different venue.
Right. I mean, he's bowling against the greatest bowlers, and I mean, not only making the cut, but making the show every week. I mean, it's quite an accomplishment. But here, he's shaking his head. I'd rather see him pumping his fists than shaking his head, right?
Yeah.
Carry is carry, and that was, you got to take it where you can get it.
And there's the first strike for Jerry Casero. Got that first one out of the way.
take a look at him. Very high backswing for him as well, and a lot of loft. So he's lofting it over the heads, which for in wood lanes, heads is always something you have to manage because they'll start to break down on you and start to hook early, and that plays into your break point. Always just another facet of bowling on wood.
Is that a part of the adjustments that is common, or is that too big an adjustment that you don't want to mess too much with that loft to throw the rest of your game off?
Well, his game is loft, so I'm assuming his game is loft.
Sure.
I guess I should say that because I haven't seen him bowl before, but it is a definite advantage on wood lanes to have that loft. You can set it a little shorter on synthetics because they're a lot tighter in the fronts, but that's a great advantage here on wood lanes to have that loft.
40 years old from Kenmore, New York is Rob Piccoli. Current bowling average of 235 in the 4 leagues that he works in. Rob is a produce manager for Tops Market. So Rob's produce manager for Tops Market. Jerry Casero is a dairy manager at Tops Market. Let me get these guys to make us some omelets after they're done bowling here.
We didn't
They know
find
how
out
to pick out the best stuff.
They're in different stores?
Different stores, yes.
Well, they can certainly talk the biz in between frames.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
One interesting thing about Rob is every show we've seen him on, he's almost playing the lanes exactly the same way. It's like you don't see Rob, moving in and playing fourth arrow or opening up the lane. He's able to play his game wherever he goes, and would normally be manipulated with equipment. And you see it now and then where bowlers can stay in their own zone, but he does it everywhere. So
let me say this to you. What you're saying and what we already know about him is he's incredibly consistent, right? But with the changing conditions, the changing venues, the changing surfaces, is sometimes you don't want to be that consistent?
Well, no. Sometimes the shot's in a different place. I mean, everywhere you go, even though house shots, tend to be around second arrow, and he's using a ball that really is really tame, which is a good choice for this condition, but it's going to be very tame on this carry down, which we had talked about carry down. And the more that... Great spare.
Nice. Well done. Good spare pickup for Rob Piccoli in the 4th frame.
Yeah, I just expected as the games have been bowled on this pair that the oil's going to carry down and you're going to not see the ball hook as much in the back end.
Oh, that was perfect. He just nudged that pin to get it to slide over.
That's how you pick it up.
Really, really well done.
But different houses have different... you play the lanes differently, and he's able to play the lane almost the same way every place he goes and just changes balls to get to get the reaction that he needs. 3
in a row now for Jerry Casero. 19 career 300s, a high 875 series. Bowled in high school locally at LaSalle Senior High School in Niagara Falls, which no longer exists once a couple of high schools there were combined. And the inspiration and his bowling idol, his late brother Michael, and that's pretty cool to keep that memory alive. And that's 4 in a row. Broke the Niagara Falls High School Series record back in 2014 and has won some tournaments up in the Falls area. So we may be getting our first look at Jerry Casero, but bowlers up in the Cataract City know all about him.
Great shot there.
4 strikes in a row for Jerry. And now, once again, Rob has got the pressure on him to notch his game up. 20 career 300s, 7 career 800 series with a high of 817.
It's the second time he's come up light on this lane. I mean, that ball is built to not do as much, but it might be a ball a little bit better for the fresh. Now that we've got some carry down, it's just not picking up enough in the back end.
Yeah, so we have already bowled 1 set of shows on these lanes. So how do the lanes change once we get now to our second set?
Just the oils being carried down. So it normally forces people in a little bit. When I say in, I mean into third arrow and and the oil gets pushed down the lane, so the heads can start to go. That doesn't appear that they're going yet, but the heads will start to break down. And again, that's going to be to Jerry's advantage because his ball's not even touching the heads; it's going right over them. So it takes that facet of trying to figure out if your ball rolls early, it's not going to have as much energy in the back end.
Yeah.
So negating that is going to help with the how many revs you have in the back, how hard your ball is going to hit in the back end.
Yeah, and we'll see that with Mike Zarcone in our second match as well, too. He's another guy that shoots it way down the lanes. Sixth frame for Rob Piccoli, and he keeps leaving himself challenging spares, but he keeps making them. And we'll see if he can do it here.
Yeah, this one's a little tougher.
Yeah, this is a 6, 7, 10 is not going to be quite as easy. See? Whatever
I take
he
it back. It
leaves,
was just as
whatever
easy.
he leaves is what he cleans up. That's a good way to send us to our first break. Rob Piccoli making some amazing shots, but Jerry Casero was working 4 in a row. Come on back. More Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.
I like Storm bowling.
I love Storm for so many reasons.
What I love about Storm the most has got to be the people we have. I win with them more. The people at Storm really care about the sport, and they truly are the bowlers company.
I get to live out my dream and bowl on tour, and that's all because of one company.
The willingness and the strive for excellence in winning. It's all about winning.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls, bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
Sixth frame now for Jerry Casero. Again, working on 4 strikes in a row after an opening spare. Seems really locked in, relaxed, right? First-time bowlers, we don't always say they look relaxed when they're on our show.
Well,
Jerry really does.
Well, so far what we found here is that,
I
just
thought
missed
that
it.
was coming down.
Just missed it. Is that either the bowler, I mean, we've seen extreme scores. It's like either you figure it out or you haven't. We're not finding that middle ground here for the bowlers. And it's all in the approach. I mean, he's got 29-pin lead now, so he's pulling away.
And he's making his spares. The only 2 he's had to make. 212 is the current average that through the league that he bowls in right now for Jerry Casero. And he will slide over here for frame 7. And that one hooked a little hard right at the end.
If you look, he crossed over 4th arrow, never really got it going beyond that, and so he got that a little inside of his target.
What's so interesting is, I see the end result. You see why it happened way back up the lanes.
Yeah, I did. I'm really paying attention to where the ball is crossing at the arrows.
And that's a great lesson for anybody that is watching and trying to understand this sport. That set of arrows right there towards the beginning of the lane usually determines what happens at the end of the lane.
Well, you have to break the lane down into 3 sections: the front of the lane, the middle of the lane, the back of the lane. So managing all of that is really what these bowlers are doing. And you're managing it with equipment, you're managing it with your eyes, you're managing it with your feet, but all three parts of those lanes are being managed. So we've talked about the heads, getting it over the heads, then the middle of the lane, you're hitting your target, and then you're where the ball's reaching and where the ball's turning around is in the back of the lane.
Strike in the 7th frame for Rob Piccoli as he gets set to set up on the lanes for the 8th frame, and not had a strike since the 2nd frame.
See, we'll get a good look here where his ball's rolling over. Right over 10, right over 2nd arrow.
And that is generally the spot you want to be at.
Well, that's generally, and that's generally the spot that he is. That is his bread and butter right there, 2nd arrow. And right over, perfectly over it.
Yeah.
And just getting his feet in the right place is, he wants that to be his target. Getting his feet in the right place with the right ball.
All right, so let's watch that on Jerry's end of things. Where does he want to be? Wherever he is, it's working.
Well, Rob's got that lead cut down now to 18, so Jerry can't let up. Trip 4 for him.
Sure. After a couple of spares in the 6th and 7th frame, Jerry is back to striking. So that's his 5th strike of this match already.
Now this is the same lane we just saw Rob bowl on. Look where his feet are, almost in the left gutter. And that one, he crossed over boards and got between the 2nd and 3rd arrow, which the shot before, when he got it in a little bit, never got out that far. So there, still crossing the 4th arrow, but getting out to the 3rd arrow, a little bit right of it.
Being on the 4th arrow is predicated by how it's breaking at the end. You need to move it over a little more so that that break finds the pocket.
Well, he's crossing the 4th arrow, and there's different ways to get to the 4th arrow, but he's looking all the way through to the 3rd arrow, but just further down the lane, not at the arrows.
So as the lanes hook more, you want to be more to the left. Is that correct?
Yes, because the oil is more in the middle of the lane. The concentration of oil is always in the middle of the lane. So you're really looking for something that'll hold your ball back from hooking, and that's going to be the oil.
Well, just another single pin that wouldn't go down for Rob Piccoli. He's been a little bit of the story of this match. We've had fun watching him make his spares, but he's had to make too many of them.
Yeah.
And that's another one in the 9th frame now for Rob.
Yeah, he just can't get anything going. I mean, he started with a double, but then his opponent just took off on him. So as much as we want to see him get excited, he's got to have a little bit to go on.
A little ball prep there for Rob Piccoli. 10th frame now. Trying to score well to put the heat on Jerry.
Well, Jerry's up 30. He's not. He's just gonna be thinking about the next match now.
Which is
nice shot though.
Oh, look at that wobble of the 10
That's the
pin.
story of his day, really.
Yep. Next match is going to be against the legendary Mike Zarcone, both legendary on our show and legendary in Buffalo bowling circles. So it should be a good second match, and then of course the winner to match up against Bill Swiat. And one more fill ball here for Rob Piccoli to post up his score.
Shot a very respectable 2-0, but he's getting a 240, 250 thrown at him. I think that Jerry's playing the lanes very similar to the way Bill played them, and we know how that went. It was very high scoring.
And there's that 10-pin wobbling one more time, which tells the story of Rob Piccoli's 207. That's just not going to be enough, and the little bit of the frustrations for Rob Piccoli continue here. Now just one win in his 7 show appearances. And how about Jerry Casero stepping right into his Beat the Champ debut and knocking him down and putting up another big score. He's our winner. It'll be Casero and Zarcone. Match number 2 is coming up next. It's Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. It is match number 2. That is Mike Zarcone on the left. This is Jerry Casero off the 246-207 victory over Rob Piccoli. First appearance, first win. Jerry Casero going to try to keep the streak alive. He bowled very well in that first match.
Sure did.
But he is up against one of the elite bowlers in Buffalo and Mike Zarcone. And guess what? Keep striking. Doesn't really matter who you're up against.
So on that lane, the last that we saw the champion Bill on it, he was keeping it in. Now, Jerry's freewheeling it to the right. So that's that's interesting and a bit of a lane change.
57 years old from Tonawanda, New York is Mike Zarcone with a current 230 league average and multiple achievements and accomplishments to tell you about before we are done. And this is Mike's 7th appearance here on our show. Talked about Rob Piccoli being tied for the second most. Well, one of the guys he's tied with is Mike Zarcone. In those 7 shows, he has won our title, our weekly title, twice. Overall, has won 5 of his 9 games that he has bowled in here on Beat the Champ. We haven't seen Mike in a little while from earlier in 2025 at the Town Edge Bowling Center was the last time we saw Mike.
Well, as you can see, he's had an elbow injury, and he's wearing a brace around that to relieve a little bit of the stress on the tendon.
Yes, and something else interesting that the injury prompted when he comes back around, I will let you talk a little bit about. He made a change in the weight of the ball because of that. So here is our second look at the 43-year-old from Niagara Falls, New York, Jerry Casero. What have you noticed about Jerry's style and how it seems to be fitting into the lane conditions right now?
Yep, I will say again, it's that loft. I think that loft is creating his ability to open up the lane because he's not getting any early hook in the front, and he's able to retain the energy of the ball, getting it pretty far down the lane. He's freewheeling it, like I said before, because it's retaining energy because he's not losing energy in the front of the lane.
And both of these guys are pretty good lofters, so that comes into play for both of them. Boy, every shot seems to be at the correct arrow with the correct results, and then all 10 pins going down.
Actually, that one was a little bit in from his last shot on this lane, which is saying he's got some area. I mean, he can afford to miss right, and the ball's coming back. That one, I mean, he didn't pull it in any way. It was just inside the last ball he threw, and it set up perfectly.
So Mike Zarcone, because of that elbow injury, dropped to a 14-pound ball. How big a deal is that? What's involved in that? Why did he do that?
Well, you lose a little bit of hit. Not significant. 14 will still carry. He just needed less. He needed to, pull less weight on that elbow. And this is a urethane ball, and this is the first urethane ball that Mike Zarcone has ever drilled.
And he did it specifically for the lane conditions here.
He did it, yep. And I crossed with him in qualifying, and he just was just a little short, shot a little short of 800. So obviously the ball is doing what he needs it to do.
You mean you tried to make this show so you wouldn't have to sit next to me here?
Well, it was interesting. There was a lineup of people who wanted to sit in this seat if I would have.
I don't know about that.
And it turned out that Mike got all the strikes. There were most of the strikes on the pair. I mean, I did all right, but not enough to make it.
Now, is that allowed? You are one of the co-owners here of Cherry Laurel Lanes. Are you allowed to qualify and bowl at your own place on TV? Is that not in the Beat the Champ bylaws somewhere?
I'm sure somebody would have had something to say about it, but.
Well, again, yeah. I'm disappointed you didn't make the show, but I'm not disappointed that you're still sitting next to me as well. It's a win-win for me either way.
I should say that my extra entry allowed an extra person to get into the finals, so it was I was really being charitable. Now
And
that
is
was
our
really in.
Yeah, that is our first non-strike of this match. We're in the 5th frame.
He didn't want to test his in to that point. I mean, let's take a look at that. Still got the loft, but never got it out to his target. And here it's gonna start right here, right on the nose.
It broke early. Hooked early.
Well, it hooked. It never got to the point where it could have hooked there. It just needed to be 4 boards right of that spot. And the hook would have been right.
Yes, and the hook would have put it in the right spot.
Yeah, it was the fact that he got it inside of his target.
So after opening with 4 consecutive strikes, Jerry leaves an open in the 5th frame. Mike Zarcone has 4 consecutive strikes. 3 leagues a week for Mike Zarcone, which is probably the lowest number of his career. He's had 152 career 300s and almost 100 800 series, which is why he is a Buffalo Bowling Hall of Famer.
What also makes him great is when he got on this lane to practice, his ball was really hooking high, and he made the adjustment that he needed to. And I'm guessing he just had to get his feet in deeper. Again, we talked about that head oil not being a deterrent, and the deeper he gets on the lane, the more head oil he's going to catch. So this is our great overhead shot right here, where you can really see where the ball's rolling over. Really deep on the lane, similar to where Jerry was standing, between 3rd and 4th arrow, because on this lane you can keep it in more. So that was great.
Perfect through the first 6 frames as Mike Zarcone come on back and see if he can stay that way.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends,
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
we are
The Bowling Proprietors
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
12X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
We continue on here at Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York. It's our second match of the week. Winner of this match takes on our returning champion, Bill Swiat. Jerry Casero had strikes in the first 4 frames, had a tough open in the 5th, and he'll have to try to get the spare here in the 6th. Meanwhile, Mike Zarcone has been perfect through the first 6.
Yeah, that one bad shot really put Jerry in a hole.
It just changed the whole match, right? Both guys were matching strikes, and then all of a sudden one bad shot now, and then Mike comes back and follows up with another strike, and now he's got kind of Jerry on his heels a little bit. And that might be one of the things that happens. So that's back-to-back opens for Jerry Casero. I have to think some of that is watching your opponent locked in and striking every frame.
Well, like you said, they started out both with the front 4, so I don't think there was any intimidation factor there. But, man, that open frame really kind of makes you have to press because he can't afford to miss anymore, and then you leave that 10-pin.
And back to striking in the 7th frame.
But that's why we bowl them all, because anything can still happen.
Yep. Season 1 of our return of Beat the Champ. The first 2 winners in the first 2 weeks. Mike Zarcone at Transit Lanes a little over a year ago.
Before the elbow injury.
That's right, before the injury. That's correct. 7 frames, 7 strikes. So I want you to talk a little bit about something that I can see and I think everyone else can see. The turn of the hand from Mike Zarcone.
He's always had that shovel release. And it really gives him great carry. I mean, it's his particular little trick, and his carry is exceptional. That one he got right, and that thing just came back. So it's crazy how hard these lanes can look, and then other people can play them and actually create room, and great carry.
Great results, 8 for 8.
Like I said, when I crossed with him, I mean, he shot almost 800, so he definitely can strike using that ball, too, as well.
So Jerry Casero now in a big hole, mostly because of what his opponent is doing. But, as we know, this game can change and can change fast. And that pin went spinning and didn't take out the 10.
Yep, this is he's playing that late break. And when you get that late break, you can whip. Do you see how that 6-pin whipped around the 10-pin?
Did about 3 revolutions, didn't it?
Made it that time.
Spare in the 8th for Jerry Casero.
Well, it's amazing how lined up you can be. And then someone comes and is even more lined up than you.
Yeah, that's what's kind of interesting about this sport,
about
right?
Execution.
I mean, Jerry Casero with a 246 in his first game was as locked in as we've seen anybody, and and then all of a sudden somebody is doing it a little bit better.
Well, at this point, it's about will Mike throw the next 4?
That is where we are at right now. He is perfect through 8. And we'll see if we can't possibly get our second 300 game here on Beat the Champ. Spare in the 9th for Jerry Casero. So now we come back to Mike Zarcone. 9th frame. Nine frames, 9 strikes.
That's a cool customer right there.
Yep. I just wanted everybody to look at how locked in Mike is, the intensity, and boy, every shot the same. Thus, the results are all the same.
Yep. We kind of mentioned how Rob kind of doesn't have the intensity, and in a way, Mike's keeping his emotions.
Yes.
But the intensity is there.
So we go to the 10th frame. Mike Zarcone is perfect through 9.
Slowing in.
Yep, well, there's the old announcer jinx. And we will not get our second 300 game here in Season 2 of Beat the Champ, but that won't diminish anything from an impressive performance here by Mike.
I mean, that's how good Mike has bowled on this left lane. We saw Jerry do the same thing where he didn't quite get it out to this target, and the ball just jumped up on him. So just tells you how good a shots Mike really has made all day today.
Yep, well, I think Mike will tell us that investment in the urethane ball is some of the best money he's ever spent, because it's going to get him into our championship match against Bill Swiat, and it's going to put up one of the best scores we have had on the show. And that final score is for Mike Zarcone, a 276. Impressive. We've only had 2 scores better, and that was the 300 by Stephen Conklin last year at the Rapids Bowling Center, and a 289 by C.J. Buttery in Tonawanda last year.
Well, so as the lanes have changed while these two have bowled on, now we've started to see 10 pins. We saw Mike make a move on the left lane, leave a 10 pin. Jerry's obviously had to make a little bit of a move on this lane, not being able to kick out the 10. So it'll be interesting to see as we go forward between Bill and Mike how that affects, how they adjust to that.
Well, and again, Mike Zarcone has the momentum right now. Bill had it by sweeping week number 1, but has had to sit and watch and see and not bowl necessarily, and that can sometimes be a factor as well. Yeah,
and the factor being that for Mike, the lanes are starting to change on him. His reaction's starting to change a little bit. And for Bill, it's going to be a new shot.
276 to 179. It's going to be Zarcone and Swiat. Championship match is next. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
It is championship match time, and a couple of high-level, outstanding, long-time Western New York bowling aces in Mike Zarcone and Bill Swiat are going to battle out for the title here at Cherry Laurel Lanes. And Bill Swiat's going to get us started. Swept the week last week. Averaged 249 and bowled a 747 series in sweeping week number 1.
But he's bowling on something different than what he finished on last time, and because he's bowling on something that's been affected by
because
urethane.
There have been 2 other because there have been 2 other matches bowled, but also because of that.
Yeah, I mean urethane's gonna change the shot for both these guys.
So that's a double adjustment that Bill is going to have to make from the last time he bowled in winning last week's show. He's got to figure out how the lanes have changed with 2 more games, plus what is Mike's urethane ball? What is a urethane ball going to do to the lanes?
Yep, so generally a urethane ball will drag the oil down the lane, and that affects people's break points. I mean, we saw a little chink in the armor on the left lane, but, Bill had some practice balls, and he seemed to overcome it just fine. And I think it's, we talked about some roll changes, like forward roll versus, not having forward roll. Let's take a look at this. He moved in. He had a choice of what he was going to do. He had to either move in or move his eyes right, and he's moved his feet left, kept the ball in, and it hit a little light, but he got a great carry there.
235 league average for the Cheektowaga, New York native Bill Swiat. And right now, he is bowling just the way he did on last week's show.
It looks very much the same. He's using the same ball.
So if you were with us on last week's show, you heard us talking a lot about Bill is one of those guys that sometimes he'll use the thumb and sometimes he won't. And he looks to have stuck with the non-thumb ball right now because that was working for him last week and it seems to be working for him this week. So you can see how there is no thumb hole and that thumb is just sitting right on the surface. What's the advantage of that?
It is more revs. Wow, he got away with that one. He wasn't so thrilled with that, but it's probably good to find out that he has that. More revolutions, better carry. Said it creates a little bit more area for him. But again, he's moved in too. Both Mike and him are playing in the lane very similar. They have to be a little deeper on the left lane and catch more of that oil.
So Bill is going to have a little bit of an advantage of revolutions and speed. How big a factor is that?
Well, Mike's compensating for it, and we know that Mike has that roll that creates a really good carry. Oop. a little
that one got
slow
away
on
from
that.
him, yep.
I think he feels like, he's lost a little bit of ball speed with the tendon injury there to his elbow, and has to compensate a little bit for that, for a little less speed than he used to have.
57 years old from Tonawanda, New York is Mike Zarcone. And that's a spare pickup here in the third frame. Our host center for Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart, is Cherry Laurel Lanes, and you can find them online at cherrylaurellanes.com. They're just one of our many great host centers. And if you want details on how you'd be a part of Beat the Champ, well, just stop in here at Cherry Laurel Lanes and find Sue behind the bar and say, "Hey, Sue Nawojski, you're the Beat the Champ expert. How can I be on the show?" And maybe you'll have Sue and I talking about you coming up in the ensuing months.
Be more than happy to help.
Yeah, make sure you order a drink first and then say, "Hey, Sue, how can I be on the show?" And, of course, if you haven't been with us, Sue is one of the co-owners of Cherry Laurel Lane. So has this been fun for you to be here doing this show in a place that you own?
Yeah, the most fun, of course, being the fourth show, which is our house bowlers, which I really was excited about. But, a little more pressure because everything has to be just right. I've been picking things off the floor as I'm walking by, which I don't do in other houses.
She was vacuuming before we went on the air?
Yes, I was.
Well, this place is fantastic, and it is a great neighborhood spot here in Amherst, New York, with great food and a great atmosphere and a lot of fun stuff going on, along with some really fun, if not challenging, bowling based on the wood lanes here.
Yeah, the interesting story with that is my partner's father bowled on our travel league team when we bowled in the All-Star League here, and his son, who is now my partner, would come and watch us bowl, and he was like 14, 15 years old, and now I have him here. He's a chef, and that makes our food great because my partner is a chef. And
that's awesome.
We do a lot of stuff from scratch and just have a great menu.
The food here is, I can vouch for the food here being fantastic and interesting and different and a little unique, and that's all great. And the staples are outstanding as well, too, but you can come here and order something maybe you haven't had at other places.
Yeah, we made you that
I'm a
bourbon.
big fan of the bourbon chicken
pizza.
Big
when you bowled
fan.
Summer League here?
Yes, my wife Kim and I had a wonderful time bowling your fun summer bourbon league. That was we really had a ball. So Bill Swiat ended a start of 4 straight strikes with that spare in the 5th frame. Mike Zarcone has strikes in 3 of the 4 as he gets ready for frame number 5. Fun place, and what a classically what a Buffalo area bowling center is. It's part bowling, it's part bar and restaurant, and it's 100% fun community hangout spot.
Yeah, it's like the Cheers of bowling.
Oh, that finally goes over. I didn't think there was any way it could have rocked one way and not rocked back the other way and fallen.
Yeah, that is a big break to keep this match even.
Watch
I
this
shouldn't call it a
9-pin.
break. It was a great shot, but the ball did. We've seen the ball miss the 9-pin, and that just nicked it enough.
Yep, you're going to find out somewhere along the line that Cherry Laurel Lanes is tipped a little bit to the right maybe after that one. Got to get a few
That's not
lucky.
funny. Geography really matters on lanes.
Yeah, you have told me that. A lot of it depends on the geography underneath the lanes. 6th frame, Mike Zarcone got that one away and far to the left, which leaves him
that was slow.
Pins on the right.
What it did is it grabbed in the middle of the lane. It didn't reach the break point because the dry boards picked it up first. That was heading for the break point, and then the dry board just picked it up.
All right, 3-6-10 to be dealt with for Mike Zarcone. Dealt with and done. Spare in the 6th. We take a timeout, and we'll come back and see who we're going to crown. Is it Bill Swiat again or Mike Zarcone as our new champion?
It's special community.
Storm is the bowlers company, more knowledgeable.
The company really cares about bowling. The products are great.
And the bowling balls smell good. XXX Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
Sixth frame now for Bill Swiat, employed by Urban Insulation as his occupation. 33 career 300s, a high 890 series, bowled high school here at West Seneca East, a little bit south of the city of Buffalo, and has competed at all the big tournaments and all of the regional tours and all of the things that make you one of the best bowlers in Buffalo. And lots of strikes go a long way towards that as well.
It's been interesting to get to know him as a bowler because I got to watch him here in qualifying, and now to see him on the show and the adjustments and the ability to put his thumb in or take it out gives him another facet to his game. And I think he's a real threat.
Yeah. Now, he explained to us, and you can follow up on this, the rule is if you have a ball that has a thumb hole drilled, you have to use your thumb.
Right.
But you can change to a ball that doesn't have a thumb hole, and you can literally do that every other frame if you wanted to.
Right, but that means 2 sets of equipment, so that's a commitment also. Right over fourth arrow. That was a good shot.
That was a good shot.
I mean, this is a lane that's getting a little bit complicated.
Yeah,
and
didn't get that 10.
Getting to the
nudged
pocket
10.
is the challenge here, because I think the effects of the urethane is really showing up on left lane.
You think Bill spends twice as much on his equipment as anybody else does because he needs the ones with and without the thumb hole?
I mean, I think from talking to him, he's given some thought to just.
That was a little close, wasn't it? Hey, I got it. I got it.
That was close. And that's another thing with wood lanes is those corner pins. Because we know that the lane's hooking a little bit in the middle. It's going to wiggle to get down there. It makes it just a little bit more of a challenge to make those 10 pins.
All right, 7th frame now for Mike Zarcone.
Not that time.
Nope, the 9-pin. Apparently, we've had a slight earthquake here in Amherst, and the earth shifted back to the left because the 9-pin didn't go down.
He didn't get the nick that he got last
Yeah.
time. Great even match between these two, though. I mean, 14 pins difference, but I mean, they're both playing the lanes really right.
All right, so a spare in the 7th frame for Mike Zarcone, but we're getting down to crunch time here, and Bill Swiat seems to be kind of getting himself locked in, so Mike's going to have to get back to striking.
And it's all a matter of carry at this point.
Eighth frame for Mike Zarcone. Got it. Eighth frame now, Bill Swiat with a 14-pin lead. It's a tight one, he and Mike Zarcone, and no. Had to wait on that one.
Yeah, that was a big shot. That tightens this game up quite a bit.
how close.
Yep.
Spin, and nudge, but not enough. So as we expected, again, with two really good, high-level, veteran, smart bowlers, we're coming right down to the last couple of frames to decide it.
Great spare.
Spare in the 8th for Bill Swiat. Thinking about it, thinking of his strategy, rolling stuff around in his head, knowing that as he gets ready for the 9th frame, he has got to be as locked in as he can be.
And yeah, because with Mike posting that strike up, that took that 14-pin lead and knocked it down to 4 if Mike can strike. So
yeah, and he's got to be as locked in as he can be because of that reason, because he knows who he's going against. And this time it's the 4-pin that will not go down.
And these are just the results of slight adjustments that you have to make. He threw that great, threw that with confidence. Can't ask for much more. Just a hair high.
Bill's been good about making his spares, so don't have any doubt about that.
So what happened here is Mike's going to get up and he can shut Bill out.
Yeah, so Mike's going to finish here, 9th and 10th frames.
So it went from being down 14. Bill hits the pocket twice, leaves 1-pin spares, and now, Mike can strike out and shut him out.
I mean, it's just crazy. What did I say up by 14 about a minute ago, right? And now here we are with the scenario you just laid out. 9th frame from Mike Zarcone. And he gets the bump of the 10-pin, and it goes down, and that's a big strike in the 9th.
It sure is. That is a critical love tap right there.
From a pin that was already in the gutter.
Let's take a look.
In the pit.
Bounced out.
The front of it. Just up and over that edge of the gutter. That's the best 6-pin Mike Zarcone's had in a long time. So now 10th frame to post up a score that may or may not be beatable.
2 strikes to win.
And this time it's the 4. So Mike Zarcone won the first 2 weeks, as I mentioned, of season 1. And has not won a week since then. That's about a year ago. And hasn't won since then. Been through a lot in that, but it's almost unusual when Mike Zarcone isn't a consistent winner in any bowling competition.
Yeah, I mean, he's still coming back from that injury, and I think he's feeling a lot better, but he's getting used to new equipment now, and did a great job today, and it's, not over yet. It's a 3-pin match.
No. So by not striking there on that first one, he left the door open for Bill Swiat to come back and beat him in the 10th frame. So he'll post up the final score when he concludes with the fill ball here. So Mike Zarcone.
Looking for all 10 here.
Oh, that's not what he wanted.
No, he really wanted to force Bill to at least get 18 pins, and now Bill's only going to need 15 pins between 2 balls.
So it's a 220 for Mike Zarcone, and as you said, all Bill Swiat needs is a cumulative of 15 pins.
Right.
So just be...
Still a mark. I mean, he still needs to get a mark.
Just be good and be solid here, and don't have anything crazy happen, and he's going to be our 2-time Beat the Champ winner. And he'll get to hang around here at Cherry Laurel Lanes another week. And how about that?
Cool as a cucumber.
Yep. That is the best way to describe it. So the strike there means all he needs to do is just get this ball down the lanes and get 5 pins out of the way, and Bill Swiat is a winner. And again, just what we expected. Back and forth, momentum changes, adjustments. This guy's up double digits. Now he's not. This guy can finish him. He didn't. Now the other guy can. Like, again, this is what's great about this show, this sport, and these two guys in particular. He needs 5 pins. He gets 10, and he gets the win. Bill Swiat, our 2-time champion. We'll hear from him when we come back.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends.
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
We are the Bowling Proprietors
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today. Bill Swiat wins again. We'll see him next week. We'll see you next week on Storm, Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.